Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fortress Comic News, episode 344. I am one of your hosts, Chris, alongside my co-host, Mike. What's going on, Mike?
Hello. Nothing. Just hanging out, talking comics.
Where there were some dinosaurs involved with our conversation.
Dinosaurs in our comics is always a good thing to have dinos in your comics.
It is.
And speaking of dinosaurs, I haven't bought Magic cards in a while, but I know the new set is dinosaur based, so that's always exciting.
Is it that Jurassic Park set?
No, it's called I forget what the name of the land or the world they're going to, but it's like dinosaur based. One of the planes. I don't know. Someone I work with is telling me, and I'm like, damn.
Speaking of which,
yeah,
I'm gonna need to employ your expertise sometime next year in this, because apparently there's a secret. What do they call it? Secret layers.
Yeah, set? Secret layers. Yep.
That's Seinfeld based.
Oh, coming out next year.
And if this is true, and I just get like punked on the internet, which is very possible, then I need it.
So I'll tell everybody what Secret Layers is. Secret Layers was a cash grab from. Hold on, but before I get there, everybody, we do have an interview today. We can always do the interviews at the front of the show. We choose not to because this is just how we do it now. We get you roped in, and then we tell you about it. Evan Carruthers is on the show today. We're going to talk Talks TOXX Volume 1 on Kickstarter.
Awesome book.
Very cool book.
Yes.
But anyways, back to Secret Layers. This is something that's like separate from the MTG Magic the Gathering franchise. A lot of the times focused on the Hasbro properties. So what they do is they release a set of like 5 cards that are pretty like much staples or like popular cards in the play set of Magic, and they do spins on them. A lot of the times they were doing different artists. They were doing like cartoon art. So I have some like cool cartoon ones.
They did a really cool one with the guy who did the artwork for the Metal Gear Solid.
Yep.
Box art.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They did one with Fiona Staples from Saga. So there's some comic book there. Hers are really good. And I have like the ones I have were like a metal poster set that are like, they look like crazy metal posters, but they're and then the newest set I've purchased because I had stopped buying Magic cards for years, and they came out with a Evil Dead set. Yes. I don't know if I told you about that one, but there's an Evil Dead set out there. So that's coming out in March. You pre-order it, and then you get sent the cards. They do a foil and non-foil set. I always get the shiny ones. I would not be surprised if a Seinfeld one is coming out. They're doing a My Little Pony. They're doing they've done Transformers. They've done a lot of different stuff. And I think they've done like Dungeons and Dragons. But yeah, it's just a thing they do. They can charge you $50 to $60 for 5 cards, so they do it.
Hold up.
Yeah. Chris has gone down the rabbit hole, folks.
No, I found in the Reddit Magic TC r/Magic TCG.
Yep, that's where I frequent sometimes.
Okay, so I don't know if you've seen this headline, but Jerry Seinfeld played Magic. And there's a picture of his desk in Seinfeld with a box of Magic cards.
Really?
Yeah. Like here, I'm going to send you this link right now. This is what we're talking about, everybody.
So this is back in an early episode. They like found that. That's hilarious.
I just sent you the link. So
yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, he does have that's a box of Magic next to his computer stuff. Wow. How do they notice that shit? That's crazy. Well, there's the thing of the Superman reference in like every episode, right? Or like the comic book reference in Seinfeld. I think it's almost every episode they talk about Superman at some point or make like a reference to Superman.
So one of the comments says this is a Windows 95 Duels of the Planeswalker game. Wizard of the Coast's first attempts at computerizing Magic.
Wow. Did not know that.
Okay, now to go back to... okay, I'll look it up later, but I'm pretty sure I saw it somewhere. I remember like sending it to a friend of mine who also plays Magic and being like, confirm this for me, please? Because if so, I need both the shiny and the non-shiny.
Yep.
And then I need to find a way to frame them because they're never gonna get played.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I have all the Godzilla ones, and I'm just gonna frame them until they sell for a lot of money. Same thing with the Evil Dead ones. I'll probably put them in a frame because I won't play those cards. But they really know how to get money out of people, and they've done crazy properties. So I do not doubt that there will be a Seinfeld set.
Well, I mean, yeah, because I put up all my Seinfeld memorabilia like over the summer.
Yeah.
So my bedroom is just Seinfeld centric.
Yep.
And I just ordered. So do you know those little people toys they make?
Yeah, I've seen those.
Mm-hmm. So now that's another thing that's just like, oh, let's get licenses and do something with it. So like I could get like the Philadelphia Eagles little people, and you can get like all these different IPs, and of course they got Seinfeld as well. So coming in the mail soon is Seinfeld little people.
That's amazing.
They also did Golden Girls, everybody, which is another.
I know they've done like Friends and stuff like that.
Yeah,
they have a lot of crazy ones.
And I found out somebody made a Fusilli Jerry action figure.
Oh, really?
That you can actually buy, yeah. So I got to find that. Like, yeah.
I know the little people are done by Mattel. Yeah, they have like Stranger Things.
Yeah.
What is this one? Avatar: The Last Airbender, Suicide Squad, and I've never seen that one. That's funny.
That's funny.
Yeah. Oh my God, they have them for everything. You're right. Dear God, like E.T., Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it's insane.
Okay.
But we're living in a golden age. I mean, in a golden age of Seinfeld merch, particularly.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I was in the store a few months ago, and
everything. Yeah.
You know Drake's Coffee Cake?
Yes.
For a while there, I haven't looked in the past month or so, but for a while on the Drake's Coffee Cake box at Dollar General, it said, as seen in Seinfeld. What? It's 2023, Mike.
I hope that box has been sitting there since the early 90s. I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to the dollar store to buy coffee. I don't know about that.
It is Dollar General. I'll give you that. But
yeah, that's funny. That's hilarious. Yeah, I don't like side. I think ever since they put it on Netflix over the last couple of years, it's like coming back.
Full steam. Yeah, I mean, Seinfeld's huge,
and it still holds up. I mean, the jokes are still relevant. People have the same issues they have then that they do now.
Yeah, I was actually shocked when it came to Netflix and people started talking about it again. Because I have the DVDs. I watch it all the time. It's like it's comfort food for me.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff that people would consider, air quotes here, problematic nowadays in that show. And I was surprised that there wasn't like a backlash against it. Like, we need to ban this episode from Netflix or something like that.
I think it's this. Yeah. And I know Jerry Seinfeld has always like done the clean humor thing. Yeah. And it's just, they go about it in such a, like, and I think it's just the characters are just so ridiculous on that show.
Well, it's one of my favorite jokes that George says when Jerry buys the new coat. Yeah. And he's just like, listen, I say this with an unblemished record of staunch heterosexuality.
Yeah.
It's fabulous. I love that line. It's so good.
It is so good. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh man, I'm going to watch.
This is just a Seinfeld podcast now.
Yeah.
We're going to rewatch all Seinfeld and do commentary on them moving forward. Fuck these comic creators. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, just kidding. We need the comic creators to come on still. We do, and the interview is still here. We haven't just talked about Seinfeld for the rest of the show, but we could.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's either that or like 60s Batman is what I watch every night, pretty much. Throw that on TV in the background.
Yeah, that's due for a rewatch. It's very due.
Speaking of TV, Chris, this week, Marvel Studios released details and a trailer for the second season of What If? ... The new season will launch on Disney Plus on December 22nd, fairly soon, and the episodes will launch daily through December 30th, making it 9 episodes long. That's pretty cool. What If was really cool. I know we both enjoyed it. I haven't watched the trailers, so it's going to be a surprise to me. Are we going back to some of the same universes we were already in?
It seems so.
Okay.
They're definitely like Evil Doctor Strange was there.
Oh, okay.
It looked like some new characters. It looks like it's Christmas themed, which was interesting.
Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah, there's a good Die Hard joke in there.
Oh my god, love Die Hard.
Yeah, it's just not Christmas until you watch Die Hard.
I know, what the hell.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good trailer. It got me really excited for it. Very interesting to be a daily launch. I think Disney Plus is starting to like flirt with different ways of doing things. Maybe I'm alone and enjoying the weekly cycle, and they're starting to see an issue.
Strange, yeah, because like I have like the set day of the week or 2 days of the week where I'm like gonna binge all the shows I need to. Not necessarily watch one every night, I guess. I don't know.
This makes me feel like when the show's done, I'll watch it.
Yeah, right. You could just wait a week and the episodes are out.
Like I would rather personally do weekly and I mean, for me personally, to do it weekly and for us to be able to talk about an episode on the show is more fun. And even if we didn't have the show, just like go to the comic shop or texting you or whoever. I enjoy that more, but I don't know. I'm guessing more people aren't because we have this. We talked about Echo a few weeks ago, and that's going to drop all at once.
Yeah. A lot of different strategies going on.
It could be them trying to play with things. It could be that, hey, the strikes are over and now we can get content in so we don't have to space it out. Let's just get it out there.
I mean, it could have been like they had to release this year because they're doing it literally up until the end of the year. It goes till the 30th, right? So,
yeah. So I'll be there for it, but I'll probably wait till it's done to look at.
I got a lot of free time that week, so I'll probably be watching it all. Invincible season 2 episode 3. You texted me about it. I was really trying hard to get some time to watch it this weekend, but I got about 10 minutes in. I know it's all about Alan the alien, which I am not upset about. But yeah.
So you're half right.
Yeah, well, half of it.
So first off, I watched the first 2 episodes this week as well, and I thought the first episode was kind of meh. Like it was a decent setup, but I don't know. I think he jumped around a little bit too much. I'm sure there's a reason for it, and we'll get back to it, but it was a little weird. Really enjoyed the second episode. Third episode hit me hard, man. Yes, the title screen is Alan the Alien. We get into like his backstory, his origin story, if you will. And then we get to that moment in the comics. So this also hits like a couple important moments in the comics early on that always stuck with me in this episode. One of them being when the 3 Viltrumites find Alan and just beat him to shit.
Yeah, beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, we get that moment. And then back on Earth, we get kind of just the same as episode 2, where everybody's kind of dealing with the backlash of season 1 and trying to like atone for their sins, including Mark and Mark's mother. And Mark's mother in this episode finds the support group.
Yeah.
And that moment in the comics is burned in my head. I love that moment. And all the voice actors and actresses in this episode do such a great job. The moment when like one of the people finds out that she's the wife of Omni-Man and is basically like, we don't want to fucking see you here anymore.
Right.
Hits you so hard. Mark just going on all these adventures, constantly trying to do better and be better was really good. And then it ends in another very seminal moment in the comics when the bug alien people come to Earth. And they bring them back to their planet. And we all know who's the leader of the planet, none other than Omni-Man. So awesome episode.
Yeah.
I loved it. And I know you were really excited for me to watch episode 2. Yeah. I did like episode 2. Going to Atlantis. I like their version of Atlantis. Like,
that was
really
cool.
Over the top fish people Atlantis.
They really had to tie up a lot of loose ends though, for sure, before they got to this. It sounds like the third episode is the reveal. Like, okay, Omni-Man's back, but like they're like, shit, we got to tie up a lot of this stuff before we get to that point.
The third episode is not only the reveal, but it's really the start for me.
Yeah.
Like, this is where the story begins.
Yeah, this is where, like, okay, shit's starting to hit the fan. We've established everybody where they are. Let's go.
Yeah, it's
cool.
So good. Everybody go out and watch it if you're not. It's so good.
Yeah, I love the show.
And I brought this up before the show. Mm-hmm. The guy who plays Armstrong Levy, as I'm watching it, I'm like, fuck, I know that voice and I love that actor. And it's Sterling Brown. I don't know if we talked about it when it was announced. We probably did. But dude, he is so good.
He is really good.
And yeah, I loved that addition to it. Like when it clicked to me who it was, I'm like, holy shit, that guy's awesome. I remember him from Brooklyn Nine-Nine of all things too.
I don't know if and I don't remember if I don't know if this guy was in a previous episode, but Peter Cullen, who does the voice of Optimus Prime, is in the third episode as I think he's on the board or the leader of the coalition of planets that Alan the aliens. And I wasn't looking at the phone when I was watching part of it, and I heard that voice, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's Optimus Prime." It's like the most recognizable voice, but yeah, it's really good. And the voice, they took really good care of like who to choose for the voices of the characters, which is great.
Yeah, the voice cast is just I can't think of a better voice cast.
Yeah, ever. Steve as Mark is just so good.
Yeah.
Sony released a trailer. This is movie news now, everybody. Sony released a trailer for the latest Spider-Man spin-off movie, Madam Web. It's bad. It's bad. It's really bad. I'm not even saying that because it's a character I don't know anything about. The actress is awful, Sydney Sweeney. Her voiceover for the trailer is without emotion. Like, you don't even see her face, but she's just deadpan reading sentences over the trailer, and it hurts my body to watch it. So
yeah, it did nothing for me either.
But I guess, what are her powers, Chris? She sees the future and then wears a spider suit at some point. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm guessing at some point she'll put on the suit.
Yeah.
And guess what, Mike? She fights an evil Spider-Man.
Amazing. Really? This is like in a black suit. Wow.
This is what gets me about. So like Venom, I let them get away with the fact that like Venom's fighting evil Venom.
Right.
And then in Venom 2, he fights even eviler Venom. Like, okay.
Makes sense.
I'm fine with that.
Whatever. Yeah.
But then when we get to Mobius and what that piece of shit was.
Yeah.
And they did the same thing where he just fights an evil version of himself. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, something original, people.
Yeah, do something else.
And then I see this one, and it's Madam Web, and guess what? She fights an evil version of herself. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Sony needs to stop. Stop with these fucking movies.
I don't get it.
I'm at the point. I'm not even gonna watch these at all. Like, there's just zero chance of being good.
I'll tell you right now, I haven't watched the new Venom. I haven't watched Mobius, and I probably won't watch this.
To be fair, I haven't watched Venom 2 yet, so maybe it's a hot piece of trash.
It is.
Venom 1's like, if you go into it with low expectations, it's like, oh, that was fun.
That was all right. Yeah.
Yeah, Mobius is just straight trash, and Craven just looks terrible as well.
Oh, yeah. That one looked really bad too. I forgot about that.
Please stop, Sony. Please.
That one had some weird shit going on where like one person has a heavy Russian accent, the other guy doesn't.
Well, it's got fucking Kick-Ass in it, and he like goes in and out of the accent.
Yeah, I'm like,
he's only there because like his chest is really big, and it's
yeah. This is now the guy who's played 3 different heroes.
All Marvel, or no?
No. Well, I guess I don't know if Marvel owns
technically Icon. Because wasn't Kick-Ass originally
a Marvel property?
Not a Marvel property, but an Icon property.
Yeah, Icon.
Which was owned by Marvel.
Icon, it was owned by Marvel. Yep.
Yeah, Icon was like Marvel's Vertigo.
Yeah.
Like, but not good.
So you have Kick-Ass, Quicksilver, and now Craven.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Amazing.
It's just, please stop, Sony.
Yeah. That's all we got on the trailer was just stop.
And I'm with you. Like deadpan, no emotion, no, like there's no acting.
Yeah.
It felt like I could do a better job.
Yeah.
And I'm really not an actor.
Chris could play Madam Web, everybody. I'd like to see that. During an appearance on David Finch's YouTube live stream, which I didn't know David Finch had a YouTube live stream.
Neither did I till this week.
Robert Kirkman might have unofficially announced Steven Yen's MCU character, and it's what we all thought. I didn't know that, but he will play the Sentry. Awesome. I love Steven Yen.
Yeah.
Loved him since Walking Dead, and I think he completely deserves to play an awesome character like that.
Yeah, like he's gonna be in Thunderbolts, I guess. We definitely talked about this a while ago.
Maybe, but... yeah. He, I mean, good for him. He deserves to be in the limelight. I think for sure.
Yeah, I'm glad to see him. I mean, he's done a lot of cool stuff since then. Well, he did do that one Netflix show that got pretty popular for a minute there. But outside of The Walking Dead, like he's flown a bit under the radar.
Yeah,
I think we pay attention to him because he's like doing geek stuff that we enjoy.
Right.
But he's really good. And I hope that's what ends up being. It seems like that's what ends up being because there's been rumors forever. Kirkman's just spoiling shit because he doesn't care. He has fuck you money up the wazoo.
Right.
And it just got me more excited for Thunderbolts.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
This is interesting because I did see this happening on the internet. Hollywood Reporter is reporting that Marvel is in final talks with Pedro Pascal to play Reed Richards in the upcoming Fantastic Four movie. And of course, future MCU projects. Okay, we'll stop at that part right now. Listen, we know America and the world loves Pedro right now.
Yeah.
Do I want to see him as Reed Richards? I mean, we had a Reed Richards already, right? Didn't we have one in a movie? And he was pretty good.
Yeah, but he was never going to stick around.
No. So Pedro. So for me, I really love Pedro. Okay. I don't think we've ever seen him play a character like Reed Richards is supposed to be played. I don't know if that's a true statement or not, but I don't think I've ever seen him play a character like that.
I think the closest. So his two most famous roles, which is Mando, and The Last of Us.
Yeah,
he plays a stern kind of.
I guess Last of Us I forgot about. Okay,
dead-toned father figure.
Yeah,
and he doesn't in both shows. He like there's subtleties to how he comes out of the shell.
Yeah,
but there aren't like he's very one note in both those shows.
Right.
The one time I can think of, I mean, so I haven't seen that Nick Cage movie he did, which I did really want to see.
He was really good in that.
Is he?
Yeah. Still not like a Reed Richards. He's more of like a drug lord. But it's like comical.
So I was gonna say the one thing I can think of that I've seen where he was outside of those boundaries was Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah.
And he was not good.
Yeah. Yeah, that might have just been a shit script too.
I mean, yes. I'm not gonna put all the blame on him. But I'm just saying, like, this is my one experience. I like the dude.
I guess if he's got good direction, he should be able to nail it. I'll say I was not expecting this as a choice. I'm not terribly upset with it. I mean, Marvel won't do anything that they're not comfortable with either. But so I mean, he must have done some test stuff.
Yeah, I'm not like I'm not a huge Fantastic Four fan either, but so take that for what it is. But I'm not like raising my fist up angry.
Right. No.
But from everything I've read, it seems like the Fantastic Four wants to put Invisible Woman at the forefront, which okay. I personally always felt, and you're a much bigger Fantastic Four fan than me, so feel free to disagree. But I always felt A, it was more of a family story, but B, like Reed was always kind of the leader.
Yeah, he's the smartest dude.
Yeah.
He's like one of the smartest dudes in the Marvel universe, right? So you always make him
kind of feel like he should be the lead, but okay. So so there's two things about that. Is if Invisible Woman's going to be like the lead and it's really a movie about her and her family, then A, you have to find someone bigger than Pedro Pascal now to lead this movie.
Yeah, if he's going to be the B character, if that's true,
it's tough.
Yeah.
B, I can't see it yet.
Right.
But I have faith because I've seen Marvel and DC at that take actors that I'm like, why are they being cast here?
Right,
and
exactly.
really make me feel like, oh yeah, that's why they're cast.
I'll say this is not as crazy as the Heath Ledger Joker casting, right? So like that's why I'm kind of still like, okay, well, it could probably work.
We don't even have to go back that far. Like,
true.
This isn't as bad as Ben Affleck Sparkly Batman.
Sparkly Batman, yeah, Battinson. Yes, you're right, and he was fucking great.
Yeah, and that was phenomenal. So, all of my criticism aside, where I'm like, I don't know about this, I would not be shocked if I'm proven wrong at the end of the day.
And this next one, I am super excited for the next casting. They're also Hollywood Reporter saying that Javier Bardem is being eyed to play Galactus. I love that. I think Javier Bardem has a menacing, like, deep voice.
Yes.
And even when he's not being menacing, I like, if he was talking to me in a room, I'd be like, dude, you're fucking scaring me. Like, he played a Bond villain really well.
Yep. One
of my favorite Bond villains. No Country for Old Men. He just plays like this menacing guy going around killing people. That is a spot on casting. Like, I wish I thought of that.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
He has this commanding presence to him. Yes. Where like, I feel like when he walks into a room, everybody just goes, don't fuck with him.
Yeah, right. But he's a super charming guy. Like, you watch him in interviews, he's such a nice guy. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure he's a wonderful person. But like his demeanor and the roles he chooses, he just comes off that way. Mm-hmm. And there's two things about this. One, I'm really happy that a person is going to be Galactus, Mike.
Yeah, I know. I like that. Yeah, I do like that.
But B, like, I can picture it already. I can see him in the suit. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be heavy CGI. Yeah. So it's going to be more like him, like the Hulk.
Right.
But I can see his face with that suit on and his voice booming out of it. Spot on, Cat. Like, there's not a doubt in my mind that he can nail this. I hope this is what ends up coming out of it. That alone would get me excited for the Fantastic Four.
It would make sense, Chris. I forgot. I for some reason I thought he was an Aquaman. No, he played King Triton in the new Little Mermaid movie. So Disney's already got their fingers in him. You know what I mean? Like, you see a lot of that happening where people flip-flop between all these Disney properties. They like to keep their actors close. So
if you think about it, same with Pedro Pascal. So
yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. So Javier is already locked in. He was in Little Mermaid. They might even approach the actors and be like, hey, listen, you play King Triton for like 5 minutes. We'll give you Galactus for like 20 movies or something, you know, like, yeah.
Would you see on a similar note, your boy there in Loki?
Mm-hmm.
What's his name?
Owen Wilson?
No.
Key?
Yeah, Key.
Yeah.
He said something on some show where he's like, oh yeah, like I was unabashedly just walking up to Disney execs being like, can I do a Star Wars thing?
Of course they're gonna let him do a Star Wars.
So like I feel like even the actors know, like, okay, once you get in the Disney family, and like I bring this back to I know some people don't like the show, but I love Entourage. Yeah, and when you watch that show when he's being cast to play Aquaman, like they're in the Warner office and they're talking about the Warner family. It's like, you know how long Clint Eastwood's been here and how long this guy, like there's truth to that. And,
right. There is truth. Yeah.
And Disney has been cultivating that for a while now.
Yeah. They're grabbing all the good ones. That's for sure.
When you can offer them all this money, like, here, do a Marvel or a Star Wars thing.
And I would say it's a completely flip of, like, for Kang, they picked like an up and coming actor that was really good. But now you have Javier, who's very seasoned, very like, has a lot, like 70 plus movies under his belt.
I mean, they've always done a good job of like cycling that, because when starting the MCU, everybody forgets, like, they got Robert Downey Jr. on cheap.
Yeah.
That's because people may forget, but he was in jail for a little while for some drug stuff.
Yeah, he was
and like
he was coming on the upswing. They
nobody wanted to touch him at the time.
Right.
So they're like, hey, we've got this thing. Come do it cheap.
Yep.
And he did. And then they brought in Chris Evans, who was a seasoned guy, had been in a lot of stuff. Yep. And then they brought like Edward Norton was the original Hulk. Like these weren't guys that came out of nowhere. And then as they went along, they started to find up and comers to go with. They've always done a great job of mixing it. Yeah, Chris Pratt was nobody before MCU. Yeah, I know people. I love Parks and Rec. People love Parks and Rec, but like, there's a difference.
Yeah, he wasn't doing anything after Parks and Rec. Yeah.
Well, there's that joke in the last season of Parks and Rec because it's in between when he filmed Guardians.
When he was getting jacked,
and he got jacked. And there's that joke I think in the first episode where they're like, "So, like, how'd you lose all that weight?" Because if you remember, he was really chubby.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, I just stopped drinking beer." And so he's like, "How much beer were you drinking?"
Yeah.
So awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited. I love Javier Bardem. I do love Pedro too, so I'm sure this will all be good stuff.
Yeah, I'm getting excited for the Fantastic Four.
I'm getting excited for the next big like weighted storyline for Marvel. Like if it's Javier Bardem messing with the universe, that's what I want to see.
Well, I was reading about it too, and a lot of people have been like kind of down in the MCU. And
a lot of people.
And I've been up and down with it. I think there's been good stuff and bad stuff. But one of the things that people brought out was we had Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, like the Avengers. We had the Avengers,
right?
And that's part of what made it great is we had these awesome characters, and now we're kind of going to B-side characters, like characters I still love, but like Moon Knight isn't a very popular character.
Yeah,
She-Hulk is not a very popular, and so on and so forth. And they kind of accidentally are going to get a resurgence because they get X-Men and Fantastic Four.
Yeah, right. This is where the influx is going to come again.
This could be the shot in the arm to really bring the MCU back to prominence.
Yep.
We'll see. But I think the most exciting thing here, Mike, is like TV and movie news again.
Yeah, I know. We actually have stuff to speculate and talk about, everybody. So the strike is over.
It's can't wait. I can't wait to see more of this. I can't wait for like finalized stuff. I
want to see more Fantastic Four news.
Yeah, and I was seeing all the like we're not going to talk about every single one, but I was seeing like now that the strikes are over and people are going back to work, they basically rejiggered the release dates of things between DC and Marvel,
right?
And where they're going to fall. And like it reminded me like, dude, Blade's still coming out.
Yeah, Blade, and even like stuff like Dune Part 2 got moved up to March. So like, okay.
And they're really going to start production on Superman. And
it's all exciting stuff.
Next year is going to be really exciting.
Oh yeah. And now on to the comic news. DC Comics has announced that Dan Jurgens, alongside artist Mike Perkins, will be making a new Batman Black Label 3-issue series. All right. The series is called The Bat-Man First Night. And this series will be set in the year 1939 as Batman will have to investigate a bizarre murder. Crime noir, Chris, in the 30s with Batman. Are you there? Dan Jurgens writing it?
Fuck yes, I'm there.
Mike Perkins on the art. This is awesome. Like, look at that art. Dude, Mike Perkins, amazing artist. That old school Batman original suit. Yeah, this looks like a lot of fun.
This came across my desk and I was so fucking hyped sitting here alone.
Yeah, you're like, this is my book.
It's awesome. I love period pieces. I love crime noir. I love Batman. I love Dan Jurgens. I love Mike Perkins.
Yep.
Everything here. You see hints of something involving a Wolfman in this image. It hints back to the original appearance of Batman. I want to point out in this, because I've been studying this week, Mike.
Yeah.
We don't see his fists anywhere, right?
Oh, yeah, we don't.
And I'm going to go to the next one, which just goes back to the first appearance cover.
Purple gloves?
God damn it, Dan Jurgens. If he doesn't wear purple gloves, what the fuck are you doing?
They are. They're literally hiding. Oh, dude. And that one, like, his head makes, like, the bat symbol with the yellow. Oh, dude. Like, what the hell?
It's the original helm.
Yeah, these covers are insane. These covers are so good.
I can't explain to you how hype I am for this book. And I just know they're purposely hiding his hands.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be a reveal in the first issue where he's just like, and purple gloves. And
for those of you that don't know, Batman in the first issue, his first appearance, number 1, he used a gun. Number 2, he had purple gloves for some reason. I don't know. Why not?
Because why not? That's why.
Because why not? Yeah.
This book's, I cannot wait for this book.
Yeah, this is going to be awesome. I can't wait for it either.
Yeah.
More DC news. DC Comics talked about some details of an upcoming Batman storyline for the mainline series by Chip Zdarsky. So he's coming back. Starting in February will be a new story arc called Joker Year One. Oh boy. This will dive deeper into Joker's origin. Will take place alongside Frank Miller's seminal story arc Batman Year One.
For audio listeners, Mike's look of disappointment and his head just dropped as if he had just lost all hope. We went from this exciting news, this awesome Batman book, to just this.
I saw like the the front of these notes that I'm reading are like DC Comics, Chip Zdarsky, new Batman storyline. Like, wow, this is gonna be great. And then we have okay, so let's unpack this for a second. There's purple gloves, Chris. Oh no, those are Joker's purple.
Joker,
yeah. Okay, so Chris, I feel like we've attempted these Year One books since Batman Year One, and I think almost all of them have not lived up to the original storyline by Frank Miller. I don't need a Joker Year One. I don't. I probably will read it. I mean, I'm reading the Batman book now. I love Chip Zdarsky on it, so we'll see what happens. But I really hate that they're doing this.
Like, I'll 100% read it. It's a 3-issue arc in a book I'm loving.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's where I'm going to go a little devil's advocate on everything here.
Okay.
So far, outside of this crossover that I skipped, Chip Zdarsky's Batman has been phenomenal.
Yeah, it has. It really has. It's been great.
And the thing that he's done really well is taking threads from seminal Batman stuff, mostly Grant Morrison right now, and modernizing it and telling new stories centered around it.
Yep.
So giving him the benefit of the doubt, him taking probably my favorite writer artist ever, if not top 5, and Frank Miller, doing one of his top 5 stories of all time and trying to add to it, I'm not going to throw it out the window right away.
No, I mean, I'm going to read it because of the Chip Zdarsky side of it.
Yes.
Now, if they said, hey, we're switching writers and it's going to be Joker Year One, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here.
Oh, 100% I'm with you there.
I completely agree with what you said about Zdarsky, like grabbing stuff that's there and like moving it forward into the modern age.
I think also the other thing here is we just got out of that crossover. I read the recent Batman. I don't know if you read it yet because I talked about it last week.
Yeah, I read it. Yep. I read it.
Okay. And we're in a Joker story arc, which me and you constantly talk about how we wish that they would do less Joker because it just gets overdone. Give it time, let it sit, and then go back to Joker. And now we're telling a Joker story that's going to lead into another Joker story. That's my one hesitance is like, okay, after this, you better get away from Joker for a little while.
Yeah,
I was really liking the no Joker thing for
right. I know.
It's tough, but I think it's going to end up being good.
Yeah,
I have hope.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's just disappointing to hear that. Like, unless this is what Chip wanted to do, I would just let Chip do his own thing. You know, like he's just doing such a great job on his own. We didn't need a Joker Year One story. Like, we could have just let him do his own original thing. But if he wanted to do it, then it's probably going to be good.
I feel like there's a half and half there. I think when you go into being the Batman writer, they tell you at some point you're doing Joker.
Right.
So as part of your pitch, what are you going to do with Joker?
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to have the chance. Maybe one day we'll get to talk to somebody who's pitched for Batman or done Batman on the regular book. I would think that behind the scenes, these writers know, like, okay, we want to do our Batman book, and let's say you and I are doing it, and we're gonna pitch our Batman. It's like, okay, well, we want to tell we have a great Clayman story, so we want to do the Clayman story.
Yeah.
But we know once that's done, we gotta rope Joker in. So how are we gonna, like, I'm sure that's part of your pitch.
Right.
So does he want to? I would assume Joker's one of those characters that every writer is like, I have a Joker story I want to tell. So whether it's good or not is a different story. But
yeah, true.
But
I guess we'll see.
I don't know if you saw this, but this got me really excited. And this is kind of similar in that it's Chip Zdarsky doing a book and Frank Miller's doing a variant cover. And I think you're going to hate the cover, but I just wanted to share it because I fucking love the cover.
Yeah.
And you'll see why immediately. So that Avengers Twilight book he's doing, this is one of the variants right here.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, so it's Captain America doing the Dark Knight Returns pose. That is an awesome cover.
I still haven't heard back. I got to call or talk to my retailer, but I texted him as soon as I found out. I was like, this exists? How hard is it to get this?
Yeah.
Because I want another copy. It's going to go on the wall behind me.
Oh, yeah. That's amazing. I'm surprised it hasn't been done before.
It might have, but it's also the fact that Miller drew it.
Yeah, Miller drawing it is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So that was just my one thing I wanted to add.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
All right, the last piece of news, very weird, strange.
We'll see about this.
Yeah, Amazon announced that Comixology is no more, so they're merging it with Kindle on December 4th. Active users will be able to migrate their collection to the Kindle app. Amazon has promised that there will be an update rolling out to make it more comic and manga friendly. Surprisingly, Comixology Unlimited will continue to be a thing, and your subscriptions can remain active while they continue to publish comics through that line. I mean, just like Amazon to buy something to kill it off and merge it with their app that already sucks. So this sucks, but I mean, like, what are we going to do? There's no other competition out there, Chris. So,
yeah. And for everybody out there, the interview you just listened to was recorded the day before we're recording right now. So since then, because me and Evan talk about some of this, and then he brings up like Global Comics and a few other apps.
Yeah.
And I did some research, looked at them, went through them, kind of jiggered with them. They're not Comixology.
No.
None of them are. And that's my problem here is that, for one, none of them have DC or Marvel. So off the bat, they fail.
Yeah, you're already out.
I'm sorry. That's just the reality of the
world. No, yeah. If I can't get them all in one spot, like, come on.
Yeah. Also, Global Comics, which is the biggest one, isn't a digital marketplace. It's a subscription-based marketplace.
Yeah.
You have to pay for a subscription to read the books, and you don't get new books. So for me, it's like, dude, I'm a new reader. I'm a week-to-week reader. So your app just doesn't cut it for me. I'm sorry. It's just, I think that's where a lot of people are going to fall is, unless we get to a place where Marvel, DC, and Global Comics being like the third pillar, all are bringing new stuff day one. I don't see ever paying for them. And none of them do that right now.
Yep.
So I'm stuck with Kindle. Now, what this did do for me is I'm definitely going to start reading less and less digital comics. I mean,
I know.
Did you download the Kindle app yet? Because I'm sure you got that notice.
I already have it. So I have an Amazon Fire tablet. So I already have the Kindle app on my tablet. Yeah.
Yeah. Were you still using Comixology? Because I remember at one point you were.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Okay. I knew at one point you were kind of shying away from it because of the update.
No, I'm still using it. Yeah.
So was I. And I downloaded the Kindle app and I went through it. And I'm like, it's not bad, but it's It's not Comixology.
No, it's not. Yeah.
And I'm waiting to see what this update is, because one of the things about Comixology that made my life easy is the new tab where I could just see what was new.
Right.
Flip through them.
Yep.
And now I feel like I'm going to be sitting here with a website up and like, okay, what came out this week?
Yeah, and you have to search for it. So hopefully, if they say it's going to be more friendly for comics, we'll have to wait and see, because it isn't right now.
No, the reading of it's fine. I mean, it's whatever, but
yep,
this is disappointing. Mm-hmm. I wish somebody like Global Comics, who already has their foot in the door, would just make it a marketplace and prove that digital comics readers are fine with just a central marketplace where they can get everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't feel like comics is big enough to sustain multiple apps and multiple subscription services. Like right now, between Global Comics, Marvel Unlimited, and DC Infinite, and then if you want to count in Comixology Unlimited, that's 4 subscriptions.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I don't have 4 TV subscriptions.
Yeah, I know. It's just too much.
Yeah, so
you need to figure something out.
But this sucks. I mean, Comixology was so great for so long.
Yeah, and then they just destroyed it.
Yeah, for no reason too.
Yeah,
they left it alone for so long.
Yeah,
like I was reading about it. They bought them in 2014.
Yeah,
that's 7 straight years of just leaving it alone.
Right.
And then crazy. For some reason they decided to fuck with it. Yeah,
doesn't make any sense. Screw you, Amazon.
But keep giving me that Prime shipping, please.
Yeah. All right. What will we read this week? I read some books.
Oh, my Greb books. Let's go.
I caught up on Shazam 5. I thought it was the end, but it's not. Freddie Freeman says, yeah, I'll let the gods tell me what to do, and wants to be Shazam. That'll be cool.
How awesome was that ending?
Yeah, that was really cool. And then we're getting another issue. So Batman 139, Zdarsky Jimenez. Hey, great stuff. We get more Zur-En-Arrh like we talked about. The Joker's there. But now he gets Zur-En-Arrh to come out, and Zur-En-Arrh's like, I'm going to kill you, Joker. So we'll see how that goes. There's like, we're in control now, and seeing that page of all the Zur-En-Arrh Batmans is always amazing.
That was great. I was so happy, especially like him doing the different styles for each one.
Yeah, it was so cool.
Yeah.
Jimenez on the art is amazing. Big Game 1-4, Chris, Mark Miller, Pepe Larraz. Yeah, it's a really cool story, like you talked about.
You didn't read 5?
I haven't read 5 yet. 5's out?
Oh,
I did not read 5. Well, I went from 1-4. I read so many books this week, I missed it. So I'm caught up to 4. The final fight with Hit Girl and Kick-Ass. The final fight will be with Hit Girl and Kick-Ass, which I'm sure is the issue you're going to talk about.
Yeah, I'll jump right in. We can talk about it more next week, because I really want you to read it.
Okay.
I just want to say, I love this book.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love it. I don't know half the characters.
Yeah.
But it feels to me, it gave me the same feeling that like Secret Wars did when I first read Secret Wars. And I was like, all these characters are together. Oh my God.
Yeah, right. It's awesome.
And
it's really cool if you've read a lot of Mark Miller stuff.
And dude, the ending is so like, it's so comic booky in the way he twists it. Yeah. And I think you'll love it. But like, it's so satisfying. Mm-hmm. And it's so satisfying in a way that like I talked about Loki last week being satisfying. Mm-hmm. And that it came full circle after 14 years. This does the same thing. Like it comes full circle to like the beginning of the Millerverse, and where it all started and where it is now.
That's cool.
Yeah, we'll go spoilers on it next week, because hopefully you'll read it this week.
Yeah,
but
I will read
this book
week.
Is good, man.
I just didn't know issue 5 was out yet, because I was like catching up on it. So I read.
Yeah, it literally came out this week.
I think I read them on like Tuesday. I read all 4 issues, and I'm like, all right, I'm caught up now.
Yeah, that's your homework for this week, so we can go spoilers on it.
Yep.
So.
Blade number 5 by Hill Casagrande. Blade gets beaten by the villain in this dimension that she's created, and he's like, oh shit, she's too strong for me. So then he goes to Dracula for help, and there's this new war coming. So he's gonna actually have to team up, which is cool.
So awesome.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. This Blade series has been a lot of fun.
This Blade series has been really good.
Yeah, to see Blade like fail and then have to go ask for help is kind of comical to me.
It's
especially from Dracula.
And I like how action packed it is. Like it's been really like, dude, the heist issue and then the fight issue and then this the way it ended, like, fuck yeah, give me Dracula.
Give me, it's a Blade book. There should be Dracula.
And the next issue is called Tomb of Dracula, which is just awesome.
Yeah, very cool. I read The Outsiders #1. Did you?
I did.
Just because, honestly, I could give a shit about The Outsiders, but it's
same here.
Lanzig and Kelly, everybody carry out the art. The art was good. It's an interesting story. The Outsiders are the Outsiders. Usually, like, the Outsiders I know always had Batman in the group. This one does not have the Batman in the group because they're called the Outsiders. So they immediately attack the definition of the name Outsiders. You're outside of the normal group. There's no Batman. Straight from the get-go. We have Batwing and Batwoman teaming up together with this new character, I believe, named Drummer. I don't really understand what her powers are. She can, like, talk and, like, listen to technology, but also, like, makes it like weird vibrations with her drumsticks. I think it has to do something with, like, vibrational frequencies. I'm not really sure, Chris.
That's how I took it.
Yeah.
I just kind of ran with it.
Yep. So there's this thing where they disarm this multiversal machine that they find. They're working without Batman. You know, I do like Batwing's suit. And Batwoman's pretty cool in it. I think their interaction at the start was good. But when they take down this thing, this Drummer character has this planetary guide and goes to this multiversal machine at the end of it. So I'll tell you right now, fucking Lanzig and Kelly, the way you get me to keep reading an Outsiders book is tease me with a multiversal story. And I believe that's what we're getting here, Chris.
Yes.
You take these characters that really don't have so much weight to them. Not a lot of people are, like, saying, oh, these are part of continuity. And then you send them to the most interesting places in DC Comics. Let's go. That's what I think is going to happen here.
Yeah, I think we took two characters who I enjoy when they show up in other things, but I wouldn't read them on their own.
Right.
And that was one of the things that I believe I said when this was announced was this is going to be a test for how good Lanzig and Kelly really are.
Yeah.
And I think it's a test they passed because I really enjoyed this issue.
Yeah, I was like, I went in and I was like, this is going to fucking suck. It's not going to be good. And I read it and I was like, you sons of bitches. We got to get him on the show. I'd love to get him on the show and talk a few issues in, you know.
Yeah, they're on my list for early next year to reach out to, but
it'd be a good time to talk to him about it.
It's definitely it's a good book. I like how all the characters are. It does kind of spin out of that whole Gotham War thing, but I didn't read it, and neither did you, I believe.
I did not read it,
and I had no problem following what's going on. Like, apparently something happened where the Bat family split up. Okay,
all right,
moving on.
Whatever. I get the gist.
Yeah, and the only thing that was confusing to me that, like, kind of, like, piqued my interest is, like, why Batwoman's, like, in the Middle East fighting, I think, like, U.S. soldiers or I don't.
Yeah, terrorists. I don't know.
Yeah, something. I don't know what's going on, but some military group.
Yeah. Whatever.
But,
yeah.
It was a cool. Yeah, it's a cool story, and I liked the team. So, yeah, I'm in.
Yep, I am too.
And trust me, Mike, I wanted to be out. I wanted to.
I was like, so I don't want to be reading. I've never read an Outsiders book before. I do not want to read an Outsiders book, but now I'm reading an Outsiders book.
I just didn't want another book. Like,
yeah, that too. I know.
But yeah, you got me. So.
Fantastic Four 12 and 13. I was a book behind on that one by North and Coelho. The 12 going into 13, everybody starts a new story arc of the like Fantastic Four where the kids are outside of the Fantastic Four. So that's still in the background, like their kids are still gone and there's still a time when they're going to come back. This has been a really fun story. There's a dimensional rift that opens up. The Thing's friend calls him and is like, hey, you know about this stuff. Fantastic Four shows up. What's going on? They get sucked into this portal and immediately start fighting a dinosaur Avengers team.
Phenomenal.
And while they're fighting, they can't understand each other. So Reed Richards is trying to build this communication device while they're fighting, so then they can finally talk to each other and be like, guys, listen. And the dinosaur, I don't know all the names of the dinosaurs and who they are, but they all fit their personalities well. The Captain America dinosaur has a giant shield that, like, it's like, you know, this, like, the size of like 3 different cars, and so like the Thing's like holding it above him and stuff when he catches it. It's an amazing fight scene. We find out in the story that the Fantastic Four dinosaur versions end up on our Earth and start fighting the actual Avengers. So you have like the normal Avengers fighting Dinosaur Fantastic Four, and then Dinosaur Fantastic Four fighting the Dinosaur Avengers fighting the normal Fantastic Four. So it's like happening on both worlds. There's a bigger story where we find out that these universes are like overlapping each other. So it's the same Earth as ours, except that like the meteor never hit. So dinosaurs are the main race, and like everything is just scaled to their size, but everything else is the same exact thing except it's dinosaurs. With that being said, the universes are like going to converge and implode. So what happens is Doom gets involved, and then we find out he partners with his T-Rex. That's the version of Doom on that Earth. And they're creating this device to like make the Earths come together because they want them to merge. So what happens is Doom, they get like the little seed of info that's like one of them is going to betray the other one. So they're like both like planning on betraying each other. And yeah, there it is. Chris pulls up the image of the Dinosaur Avengers. So you have Iron Man. Iron Man is a brontosaurus. You have Captain America as that spiky dinosaur with the fin on its back.
A Spinosaurus.
A Spinosaurus. Yeah, I don't know who's a pterodactyl in the back. Is that Black Widow? Yeah, Black Widow's a pterodactyl. It's amazing.
This is the greatest single page I think that's ever been drawn.
Yeah. Oh yeah, hands down.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
This, like, even if you don't read the Fantastic Four, you could read 12 and 13 and understand what was going on. It's such a fun 2 issues. And by the end of it, the universes end up getting separated, and they thwart Doom, and there might be some residual stuff happening, but it was such a fun 2 issues. I mean, it was and we're on 13 issues of Fantastic Four. It's had some ups and downs, but it's been a fun series for sure.
Is it still Ryan North writing it?
Yeah, North, and then Coelho on the art. Coelho's art's amazing. Yeah. Wesley Dodds, Sandman #2, Venditti and Rossmo on the art. Boom. There you go. Amazing art. Rossmo's art's killing it. Sandman's trying to figure out who burned his house down, and then he realizes all his little notebook that he kept of all his different gases is gone. So it's like smoke and mirrors of like, they went after that. Somebody uses burglar to burn his place down. And it looks like now, Chris, there's an evil Sandman on this, which is fine. I'm okay with the storyline of like a light and a dark Sandman. I'm okay with this. We'll see where this goes.
I'm fine with it in the sense that like I finally got a Wesley Dodds Sandman book.
Yeah, if it was any other storyline, I'd be like, eh. But
I know this is a bit hypocritical of me from my earlier tirade, but I do wish it was something else.
Right.
But like it does make sense in this, like what they're doing with Sandman, trying to like he accidentally discovers these evil gases in his pursuit of like the good one, and somebody's using it against him, blah blah blah. I thought it was a fine issue. The last page reveal did disappoint me a bit, but we'll see. I'm gonna finish it, but
yeah,
it was good. It's a good book.
I think the interesting thing is he's having dreams of all this bad stuff happening. So could there be potential for the other Sandman to show up, or something involving the dream world? I don't know.
I doubt it. I mean,
it's just the thing.
Well, I'm trying to think. I don't know for sure whether Sandman, the other one, is in the glass while this is all happening.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. That's
because I think he gets caught before World War I.
Yeah,
but I'm not. Right. I'm not an expert of that. But the other thing here is, it's really tough to use that character. Like Neil Gaiman, like this is one of the few examples where a creator actually like held on to control. And Neil Gaiman has control over that. You can't write him for shit unless Neil Gaiman says you can.
Right, exactly.
So I'd be shocked if he shows up. But I did like that sequence where he's like, you know, I thought I had kept these a secret from everybody. Somebody stole them, and now they're gonna use it against me. And he's
right.
Seeing them like their faces ripping up. That was
that was pretty cool. Yeah, so there's some good stuff in there for sure. That I think I'm still gonna be reading it.
It's a great issue. It's just the ending, like the cliffhanger, didn't hit with me the way it's probably gonna with some people.
I kind of saw it coming too. I was like, this is probably gonna be
I figure that's what they're like. Halfway through the issue, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be an evil Sandman.
Yeah. Capwolf and the Howling Commandos #2, Stephanie Phillips and Magno on the art. So I'm reading it now. Yeah, really great art by Magno. Cap can talk in his Stephanie Phillips did a great job of comic book science here, because Cap can now talk in his wolf form, and the way she explains it is, well, maybe my super soldier serum, you know. And I was like, all right, Stephanie, yeah, you got me there.
That super soldier serum does wonders, man.
It does. It does a lot of great things for comic book plot devices. But no, joking aside, it was a great issue. The Nazis find out that Cap turned into a wolf, so they're like, shit, now we got to turn all our soldiers into wolves. And that's pretty much where it's at.
It's a very straightforward book of Captain America's a werewolf now. So now let's fight a bunch of Nazi werewolves.
Yeah,
and I'm fine with that.
It's great. It's a lot of fun. It doesn't need to be anything more than that, Chris.
No, it's awesome.
That's what I signed up for, so I'm glad.
It's when I saw it, I was like, yeah, this is what I wanted.
Yep.
And I was trying to figure out who that the resistance fighter that shows up is, and I can't figure out if she's like shown up before or anything. I'm sure she has.
Yeah, she was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then this is my last book for the week, Chris. Geiger, Ground Zero #1. Yep, Jeff Johns, Gary Frank. So this is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, I believe we've gone through the origin of Geiger now before.
Yeah, in the first issue of Geiger.
Yeah, so getting the origin again with this this guy who's in a group who's an old engineer, like working with these guys to meet his wife. Not a whole lot of new info, Chris, on Geiger. So here's what if you're a Gary Frank and a Jeff Johns fan, you've already read this issue.
Yep.
Not a lot of people out there that aren't Jeff Johns, Gary Frank fans. Calling it Ground Zero and then giving us another issue after this is very strange to me. It kind of felt like a cash grab. It almost felt like they were delayed and doing all this Geiger stuff, so then they brought this as a catch-up because they're like, oh, shit, it's been like a year. Nobody's going to remember anything. We remember everything. We just want more content. That's where I'm at. I don't know.
So this is only a 2-issue series. So
right.
At least they're not stretching it out and trying to get me to buy 4.
Yeah.
I feel like you're right. And the announcement for Ghost Machine goes alongside this, where they were playing that behind the scenes. They wanted something to be, and since Geiger was the first book in Jeff Johns' new universe.
Yep.
We're announcing Ghost Machine at New York Comic-Con, and then a month later we need to have a book out. And why not Geiger? Yeah, Geiger hasn't been around long enough to do this. Where if you did a Cap origin story today and told it from a different angle, I would accept it.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't like it because I don't want that origin story anymore. But
yeah,
it's acceptable. Where it's like Geiger's only a few years old, people. I don't need to have a new Geiger origin story.
Exactly.
But it's only 2 issues, so I'll probably buy the second issue because I'm a sucker.
Yeah, me too. I'm a sucker.
Because it wasn't bad. It was just
Gary Frank's art's amazing. So
yeah. So yeah. But I just ordered the Ghost Machine one shot on my whole box app, so I am excited for the future of this.
Yeah, I want to see where it goes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Was that all you had?
That was my comics for the week, Chris.
All right, I'm gonna get my 2 kind of mess out of the way. Star Wars Visions, Peach Momoko.
Mm-hmm.
This is the second Peach Momoko book I bought. This is the second Peach Momoko book I've bought that has 0 dialogue.
Oh.
So I don't know if that's a regular thing for her.
Uh-huh.
But I don't think her art's good enough to be 0 dialogue.
Yeah, that's a risky move there.
So it's Star Wars Visions has become not really What If, but it's their multiverse thing where it's not in continuity, but Star Wars adjacent.
Yeah.
And this was kind of a Star Wars with a Middle Eastern flair.
Okay.
And you've definitely got this like Sharia law. I'm hesitant to say cult with those words together, but I'm going to say it like cult.
Mm-hmm.
And then some Jedi shows up and takes care of them. But yeah, it's just it wasn't great. Some of her art falls flat. I think in the bigger panels and the bigger like one shots, it's really good. But in smaller moments, it seems phoned in a little bit, especially when it comes to faces and and if you're gonna do something with no dialogue, like you better have the acting and faces down.
Right.
It's got me real worried about Ultimate X-Men. I'll say that.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. I'll also say, to be fair, this is the second Peach Momoko book I bought. They're both Star Wars books, so
yeah.
Well, let's see. Zoop book that showed up, Blood Run.
Oh, nice.
It wasn't that great. This is another book that tried real hard to be as little dialogue as possible and tell the story.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's bad, but it's just it felt like they're trying to do Twisted Metal without the IP. And I mean down to there's a driver that's a sheriff, and there's a driver that's a priest, and there's a driver in a race car. And I'm like, this is Twisted Metal.
Yeah, it's a little on the nose.
And I don't want to spoil it because it is coming out through Scout next month, 2 months from now. But the ending I thought was lame.
Really?
Personally. Did you
No, I didn't buy it. I was not interested in that.
I'll tell you off air, but
okay.
Yeah, I just thought it was lame. Unfortunate because I love the artist. It's the one who always works with Hedrick. So the art's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's really great art.
Yeah. But I just thought the story wasn't that great, personally. Talk about The Outsiders. Phantom Road #6 came out.
Oh yeah, I gotta. That's another book I gotta catch up on.
Yeah, there's been kind of a break in between 5 and 6, so it's good to see the book back. This one kind of brings us back, sets up the new story arc. Somebody else is in the Phantom universe, and but at the same time, like they can't get too far away from the truck.
Right.
So they find somebody, but they can't really chase after them because they start to like hear that sound that causes them pain, and they have to go back to the truck. And then the FBI agent on the outside's like still working on the case and doing her thing.
Cool.
So another really good issue. And then I read the Deviant #1.
Okay.
Which is Tinian's new book.
Yep.
So I know the joke on this show is that like, I don't like horror. And the truth is like, I'm very picky about my horror.
Yep.
And this is right down my alley because this is the Santa horror book, if you remember.
Yeah.
And the whole idea is that there was in the 70s, there was a serial killer who would go around doing unspeakable things to people, some of them children, and then killing them and then mutilating them and doing it dressed as Santa. Yeah. That person was arrested, put in jail, and now this writer has gone to see him in jail and kind of tell his story. And as we get the back and forth between them, somebody in modern day has either someone's picked up the mantle or it never was this guy. I mean, they don't tell you for sure in the first issue.
Right.
But we find out that somebody's out there dressed as Santa, ready to do the acts again. So it's got a thriller edge to it. There's some horror moments where like you see people mutilated with things cut off and things happen to them.
Gross.
Yeah, I don't want to get into detail because it is very disturbing and gross. But it's not as in your face as like a
Crossed book.
It's funny because I like Crossed, and I was gonna like say I don't like so I like the first Saw movie, but like as Saw went on,
it got worse.
It got like pornographic in the way it like treated violence.
Yeah.
And I guess Cross does that too. I don't know.
Sure.
I give it a pass.
Right.
I don't know why.
I mean, Cross is a completely different tone though. Like that works with the Crossed book, but like
Yeah, I think Cross is trying to be in your face in a way.
Yeah.
But anyways, I don't like when horror gets to that pornographic level where it's like I'm trying to almost titillate you with violence.
Right.
I like this because something they tell you like, hey, he did this unspeakable act to his victims, including children, and that's like telling you like you're supposed to hate this person for that reason.
Right.
And then you see the aftermath where they're strung up, and then you move away from it.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. I don't have to see him do the act. I can just see the aftermath and move on.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. But those are really great first issues. I'm getting to.
Awesome.
So I'm going to continue reading it.
Yeah. Plus, it's like noir, so that's your kind of thing, investigating what's going on, right? Or more of interview.
Not really. It's an interview thing.
Yeah.
So it's and what's cool about it, it almost makes me think that Tinian actually went and interviewed somebody and like based this book on somebody, because the main character is a gay man who is a writer, and he's a comic book writer.
Okay.
So he's going to make a comic book about this guy. And I think based on the conversations, Tinian made, I don't know if Tinian's gay or not. I'm not going to speculate, but I think the character is made gay for a reason. And that is that the guy in jail is also got some, well, I don't want to say he's gay, but he has sexual things. And he uses like things like words like queen and an F word that I'm not going to repeat.
Right.
And like he uses them towards the character to kind of hint that like, yeah, I also am attracted to the same sex, but his is more of a there's children involved in that. So there's gonna be an interesting dynamic there, I think, between those two in particular throughout the series. But yeah, I really like that book.
Yeah, he's done a great job with horror books for sure.
Yeah, and I haven't read enough of them, so it makes me want to go back and read some of them and see how he's done, because this one was very thought-provoking and just hit me in all of the right places.
Nice.
Star Wars Dark Droids #4. So second to last issue in this event. What I really liked about this is the hive mind droid. He ends up creating this council of droids for himself, and it's kind of like your typical council, like one's the elder and one's this and one's that. And they're all meant to separate his memory banks because he's gotten so much info brought into his database from all the droids and now cyborgs that he's taken over, that he's going insane having it all in his brain at one time.
Interesting.
So now he's got all these different droids where like one deals with military operations and one, so on and so forth. So that was a cool like dynamic. And then we get kind of why he's so obsessed with making the jump from robots to organic beings, because every time he's done this in the past, as soon as he's captured, it's because he can't make that jump, and so the organics end up taking him over and putting him somewhere. And for those that don't know, he was stuck in this I think it was the Fermata cage from the last Star Wars event that they thought a secret Sith was lying in, and when they opened it, they're like, nothing happened. And they're like, oh, what was it? And it ended up being this thing, and that's what created this. And in that, we also get that like that planet of droids that was like very like, it was almost like Catholic droids. You remember the droids from Futurama that were like the religious droids?
Yeah,
like that, but like taken seriously. And after they did their attack in the last issue, the one's kind of given up, and he's like the high priestess of them, and he's just like, I don't know if I can do anything anymore. And that's when like R2-D2 and crew show up from the D squad and are like, we can help you. So now they're gonna jump in.
Nice.
It's a cool book. I really enjoy it.
Cool.
Scrapper #5 came out, and it's another fun book. Scrapper finds his mom. He saves the day, and now he's got to fight the big giant corporation next issue.
Nice.
Really enjoyed that. Daredevil #3. I absolutely love this issue because we're kind of getting into the heart of, now that Matt is Father Matt, and he's running this this orphanage and trying to be Daredevil. Like, he's got that back and forth of, I'm out being Daredevil, but like that's hurting my work at the orphanage. And while that's happening, everybody's saying these terrible things about the orphanage. And if anyone remembers from the first issue, he fought a demon that took over Elektra and brought him back. And it seems to me that throughout at least the first part of this series, the idea is that he's going to fight demons that represent the different sins.
Oh, that's cool.
And now this next one's going to be one for, I think it was Pride was what I came down to.
Yeah.
Because he's taking over this Ben Urich, who everybody knows in Marvel is like the reporter. He's the Clark Kent.
Yep.
And this guy is like turned the Daily Bugle. No, I forget what publication he owns now, but he owns one of the publications. He's basically changing it into like a sensationalized internet thing where like they're no longer journalists. They're just trying to get clicks and clickbaiting. And that's where this is coming from. Like, everybody's taking their source from this place to be like, that orphanage is doing these things. And Daredevil's having a hard time because Ben's a friend and all this stuff. And so, yeah, there's a lot of cool things happening. I think these first 3 issues have been really good, but I'm a little biased. I love Daredevil. And then we get at the end, Mike, Bullseye is behind one of the crews in town, so he's coming back, and I always love when Bullseye shows up. So
nice.
Yeah, I know Bullseye is like Daredevil's Joker, but it's not as overdone, so it's fun.
Yeah, right.
And that's everything I read, Mike. So where can people find you on the internet?
They can find me at Fortress Ricker on Twitter. Where can they find you and or the show?
They can find me at Fortress Chris on pretty much all social media. And if you want to follow the show, you can go to fortresscomicnews.com or go to Twitter and go to fortresscomics_. And if you want to support the show, you can do the 5 stars in the podcatcher. You can go on the YouTube, like, subscribe, share, comment down below, or you can go to patreon.com/fortresscomics. So everybody, thank you so much for watching and or listening this week. We'll see y'all here next week.